You're very welcome back. Now, our next guest is an international best-selling author who's sold over 25 million books that have been translated in 44 languages worldwide.
And the Disney movie version of the book series, Artemis Fowl, is due to be released next year and is already gathering huge global excitement. Eoin Colfer, good morning. How are you?
Welcome.
I think I should have my own parking space at this point.
I think you should have been carried in here in a throne, personally.
We are fans, it has to be said.
Throwing rose petals in the ground before you came in.
I need to get Louis Walsh managing me, and then that will happen.
Just when something like that is said, when you get an introduction like that, do you sit there and think, are they talking about me? Is that how did that happen?
It's like there's like a media Eoin Colfer, and then there's like dad and husband Eoin Colfer.
Yeah, of
and
course.
they're like different guys, you know. So. I don't really connect as a person with all those book sales. Like I still live in a semi-detached house or whatever, so it doesn't. I do have 3 sports coats. I will.
Whereas you only had one back in the day. Now you have 3.
I turned up at I did a concert with my friend Michael Landra and the conductor Liam Bates, who's a friend of mine, said, "Oh, I see you wore the safari jacket tonight." And I was recognised in Harrods for a signing because I was wearing the same jacket as my altar photo. So it's time to get more
Expand the
jackets.
wardrobe,
It's time to get more.
Hire a stylist, maybe. Not that you need it.
Yeah, my son is a stylist. I might get him to.
Well, there you go.
I might to give me an old makeover.
Give him an old mixer.
I know.
Can we go back to 2001, which is when the first...
I wish we could.
Wouldn't that be lovely, yeah?
But isn't it lovely to look back on it and reflect? This is the start of Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
The first book came out. You gave up teaching.
I did, yeah.
And life changed completely.
It was a very strange year because a lot of stuff happened very quickly. I'd been plugging away, as you know, Simon, because you were in my first play. And,
That's right, yeah.
In Dublin. So I'd been plugging away for a long time.
Yeah.
And I had already had 6 books out and a few plays. And then suddenly I was in the schoolyard, on the junior yard, where there was all sorts of bodily fluids flying around and trying to keep kids separated. And my principal, Pat, came out the phone just to say, you know, there's a movie studio on the phone, they want to buy your book. I didn't even know what book, really. And it just, from that moment, I went home and told Jackie, and it was just different.
Different,
There was phone calls every day, and 3 months later, I was out of the job, and I was on tour in America and Australia, so it hasn't really slowed down.
No, because to put it mildly, you're a prolific writer.
Well, that's not always a good thing, as my editor tells me.
Well,
you know, but I like to do
quality, not quantity.
I'm slowing down now. I just do a book every maybe year and a half now, whereas I used to do 2 books a year.
Wow.
But now my head has caught up.
But the series has sold 20 million copies worldwide, which is hard to get your head around, isn't it?
It is. It is very difficult to even think about that, because that book was written in the box room, the baby's room. I didn't have an office at the time, so it was written in the baby's room only when the baby was awake.
Yeah.
So, you know, I associate creativity with the smell of nappies and powder. So I just shake a bit of Johnson's on me.
Go for a
That's your process now,
That's the process. So, and that baby is now 21, living in London. So it's, he says I owe him a fortune because I used his room.
Has the process changed over the years in terms? Are you structured? Are you a disciplined writer?
Yeah, I am. I work all the time, really. I think because for 15 years till I was teaching, I was writing every hour I could steal from somewhere.
Your spare time,
you know, rocking the cradle with your foot and typing. So now it's such a luxury to have that time. That something inside me can't let go of that idea that this time is really precious, don't waste it. And so I still write quite a bit.
So for anyone who isn't familiar with Artemis Fowl, will you give us, I know this is a mass market thing, but it's about to become a movie. It's about to be everywhere. But for anyone who hasn't met Artemis Fowl, you might just give us a description.
Well, Artemis Fowl is a 12-year-old criminal mastermind. He's not really a criminal. He inherited this empire from his dad when his dad went missing. And so he decided he would kidnap a fairy or a leprechaun for the crock of gold, which is the oldest story we have. And then, of course, once he kidnaps this leprechaun, he realises that it's not a thing, it's a person. And he immediately feels bad. And now he's trying to give the leprechaun back. But at this stage, his manor is surrounded by the fairy police force. So it's very funny, very fast-paced.
Lots of characters.
A lot of characters developed over the 8 books.
Yeah.
And my memory is bad, so I would sometimes kill off characters. And then I would write, and then in 2 books later, I'd attempt to put them back in, and my editor would say, "You did kill that person." So
slight problem.
There's a slight problem there in continuity. But
we're looking at clips of the movie here. I mean, it's directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
The screenplay written by Colin McPherson.
Yeah.
Josh Gad, Judi Dench. I mean,
this is incredible, isn't it?
It's very exciting. I think I'm really excited about the Irish contingent. So you've got Kenneth, you've got Connor, but you've also got Ferdia Shaw, who is Robert Shaw's grandson.
Yes.
And you've got Laura McDonnell playing Holly. So it's and there's loads of Irish people in it. So I'm really happy about that. And
did you have an input into that? Because I know, like Disney, obviously the juggernaut that is Disney. How much control do you have? You know, you have a cameo in it yourself.
I do, and I realised how hard acting is, because they just say all you have to do is just walk across that field and don't look at the camera. And I was like...
And everything in your body's gone. Looking at the camera.
And there was like 10 cameras, so I was... I was voguing, more or less. So it took about an hour to do that, and eventually they just said, "Listen, I think we're going to scan you just in case." So they can just render me. But no, I didn't have a lot to say. I went to see Kenneth Branagh about a year before they started filming, and he said, "Listen, we won't do anything you don't like. So we'll run everything by you, and if you don't like it, we won't."
That's lovely to hear that, isn't it?
Yes, but I think
that was in principle.
If I hadn't liked something, that it didn't arise really.
No.
But once you have Conor McPherson writing the screenplay, you're kind of...
You're in safe hands.
What was that relationship like in terms of, translating the book to screen? Because the role of the screenplay writer, it's huge. I mean, it has its own Oscar category, Best Adapted Screenplay. What was that relationship like? Was there much connection between you and Conor? Was there much interaction? Yeah,
Conor would ring me, or we would meet for a cup of coffee or whatever and talk about things. But I understand that it's a different art form.
Yeah.
You can't give a piece of art to an artist and say, "Well, don't interpret that." So I just kind of said, "Whatever you like, Conor." And a lot of it is original ideas of his, which are great. And that book I wrote that in 20 years ago. And I haven't read it since. So I would read the screenplay and I would think, was that me or is that Conor? So I was very happy to leave Conor too. It did a splendid job.
And the movie is out when, Eoin?
It's out next May. It was out August.
Yes.
But they rang me and they said, "Listen, we have we're on the horns of it. We have our August weekend if you wanted, but they've offered us the May weekend."
Which is a bigger one.
You will know that like this year it was Aladdin. Every other year it's been Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's the big Disney weekend.
So it's a bigger audience. It's going to hit a bigger audience.
So they say we can wait or we can take it. They want to wait because obviously it's bigger
strategic
audience.
decision.
Two things I want to talk to because we're quickly running out of time. Fowl Twins.
Yes.
Can you tell us very quickly
The
about
Fowl
that?
Twins, that's a spin-off book which I coincidentally decided to write just before the movie came out. So
funny that.
For artistic reasons. For artistic No, I've wrote it about 3 years ago, but I just held on to it because it's nice to have a bit of name recognition, and this movie will give that. So that's out on I think the 2nd of November, and it's already got great reviews, and it's
good.
The pre-sales are fantastic, so I'm looking forward to it.
And before we let you go,
we've 30 seconds left.
Sorry,
go for
Dustin, what the hell is happening here?
I met with Dustin in a dark warehouse in Cabra, and he said
that sounds very dodgy.
He wants to go on tour, and would I write him a show? And so I did with my friend Liam Bates, the composer. So Dustin's also going to be singing.
So you've written a musical, Dustin the Musical.
It's called The Long Mile Road.
Of course it is.
It's all about Dustin trying to get back to the peak of his fame and who he's prepared to shaft to do that. And there's a lot of cameo. Actually, if either of you want to be in it, that'd be great. I could do a video now.
No castings, straight in.
No. So we have Dustin and his manager. You will recognise the van, because you were probably in that
the
van.
Lords of Love van.
The Lords of Love van. So we have resurrected that, and we're starting in the Viking in September for to bed it in, and then we're going on a tour. I should say I'm not going. because I don't want to see what Dustin does to my words. Like, as we say, it's a loose approximation.
Well, listen, as someone who's directed Dustin and Panto,
I know.
The very best of luck is all I'll say.
It'll be great fun, no doubt.
I think even now it's probably the most fun I've had in rehearsal.
Of course,
ever. It's
he's
fantastic.
a very, very
brilliant
funny
character.
Guy,
yeah.
great to see, as always.
You too,
Continued
thanks
success.
Congratulations, Eoin. Thank you.